Hello, my name is Lizzie and this is Lizzie's Literary Life, and today we are beginning my vlog for the Renaissance Wonders Readathon. So, if you haven't heard, Wonderthon is a readathon that I've been talking about a lot on this channel because I host it. It's really fun. We are actually, you're seeing this after it's ended, and as of right now, we are a little over halfway through. But this vlog is going to be week 1 of the readathon, and I'm going to be spilling all of the details, all of the drama, all of the math, which I know is what you're here for. We're just going to get right into it. Hello. So I will film a proper intro tomorrow, but it is 9:30 on the 14th of June in EST. So the readathon, technically, for those of us playing in EST, starts in about 2.5 hours, but for some people in their time zones, it's already past midnight. So we actually have 3 submissions already, which is very exciting. 2 submissions from Venice and 1 from Milan. So I'm just so excited to get started. I am gonna try to stay up until midnight. I don't know if I will. I'm not gonna push myself too hard, but I would like to be up when it officially starts, but we'll see. We'll see. Hello. So I just finished sprints, kickoff sprints. I made this hat while I was reading today, and I actually finished a book. So I'm endeavoring for this vlog this year to not just be a math vlog and to actually be a reading vlog. So I'm going to tell you about what I read. I finished Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austen, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It's really solid. It's one that I would totally recommend to people. It's about this very anxious 26-year-old lesbian who is clearly neurodivergent, and her love language is interesting facts about space. And it's about her and her experiences dating and working, and I'm not going to say more than that, but it's a very character driven, but has a solid plot too, and I really enjoyed it. And now I started Kindred on audio by Octavia E. Butler, which I'm enjoying so far, and Legends and Lattes is my physical read. I started this before the readathon, but I only read like 50 pages before today, so I'm really enjoying this one too. So yeah, that's my update. What I need to give you a points update. Rome and Milan have been back and forth in the top spot all day. Currently it's Rome at 5.8 points, and then Milan has 5.57 points, so like 5.6 points. So they're really close. Venice is in 3rd, and Florence is trailing a little bit, has been all day, but that's okay. It's a long game, long readathon. The thing that I find interesting is that Milan, they're up there in points, but most of their points are art, whereas Rome is much more balanced. They have 7 art, 7 science, 4 civic, 4 economic, whereas Milan has 12 art, but then like 2s and 3s in the other categories. So like, I'm interested to see when we get to showcase time what that's going to do to the points, what teams choose to do, and so on. Tomorrow, there will probably be showcases tomorrow at 11 a.m., but I will be driving. I'm going to be driving all day, so I'm going to have to stop to resolve the showcases. But yeah, that's my update. I'll probably give you an update from the car tomorrow, and then I'll be at my parents' house for a week. And yeah, very, very solid start. I will tell you, we collectively have read 172 books and over 30,000 pages, and it's 6:46 on day 1. So that's insane. I forgot to mention that I submitted Interesting Facts About Space to Florence for economics because the page count ended in a 0. So I got 30 points, a flat 30 because it's between 300 and 400 pages, so the modifier is 1. So 30 points to Florence for economics.
Hello. So I am on my way to my parents' house. I'm somewhere in New Jersey. I just had Panda Express, which I love. I don't have any Panda Expresses near me now, but when I lived in New York, I used to get it like weekly. So it's kind of a ritual when I drive down to my parents' house, the first rest stop with a Panda Express, I'm there. So Wonderthon. That's what this vlog update is for. People are reading. I should have looked at the spreadsheet right before I filmed this so I could give you some more stats. But we came to showcase time this morning, 11 a.m. And I stopped at like a little rest stop in Connecticut, and no team was at the 3 points yet. Rome was at like 2.88, so they were really close, but the cutoff's 11 a.m. So Rome's now past 3, and I think Milan is too. And those will happen tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think tomorrow is going to be a really busy day because I think that teams are going to be getting their wonders. I think showcases will happen, and it's exciting times. I'm going to check the spreadsheet and see what else I can tell you. Really hot, and I have my AC off for the sound, and it's really hot right now, so I'm not going to talk for very long. But Rome is currently in first place. It's Rome, Milan, Venice, Florence. That's been pretty consistent, though Rome and Milan have gone back and forth a little bit. Milan is actually higher in Wonder Point, so they are reading much longer books, and yeah, their average pages per book is, I mean, everyone's still reading short books, but Milan's pages, like average book length, is in the 200s. It's like 220 something, and Rome's is like 160 something. So that's interesting. Milan has the highest average book length of any of the teams, and they're in a solid second place. I think Rome's at like 13 points, Milan at like 10, Venice at like 7, and Florence at like 3. So Florence is trailing, is continuing to not do as well, but it's because they're putting everything into art. They are not very balanced, so the averaging is bringing them down. But oh my god, it's hot. I need to turn my AC back on. I will catch up with you later.
Che confusione, il sabato è quasi peggio di quello che dicono con te, però c'è un non so che di magico, c'è un non so che bellissimo. Dimmi quando arrivi, così ti tengo al posto, prendo già da bere, i tuoi gusti li conosco, in 3 che ho lasciato.
Hello. Teams are discussing their very first showcases right now. It's 11:09, so they have about 50 more minutes to discuss. Milan has a showcase and Rome has a showcase, and Milan is like dead set on going against Rome in civics, which they are going to win. They are have like a 7.8 point difference in civics with Rome. Rome is still discussing. They want to use econ, which is a good idea because they have the highest econ points, so they would win against anyone. Some people are saying they want to go against Milan to knock Milan down because Milan is closest to them. Some people are saying go against Florence because they would get the most points from it because Florence is the lowest. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's true, they would get more points if they go against Florence, but Milan will then still be catching up to them, and they wouldn't be knocking Milan down at all. And Milan's going to win their showcase against them. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But Rome and Milan are probably both going to win the showcases that they declare, so that's exciting. I hope that they go head to head and just go against each other, both of them. I think that would be most interesting, and they leave Venice and Florence alone, but we'll see. So I'll update you at noon once they get resolved. Okay, I haven't announced yet, but Milan is officially going against Rome in civics, and Rome is going against Florence in economics. So, like, math wise, in terms of like getting the most points, that was the right choice, because Rome is going to be gaining points from their showcase and losing points from the showcase with Milan, but the amount that they're gaining is actually slightly more than the amount that Milan's gaining. Whereas if they had gone against Milan, that would not necessarily be the case because the points are closer together, so the prize would be smaller. But also, like, I think it would have been fun to see them go head to head, like, back and forth. That's kind of what I was hoping for, but this is interesting. And Venice gets a free pass for today. They are chilling. So I have about 10 minutes before noon when I'm going to announce this to everyone. But I loved watching the Rome chat. I thought it was super interesting the way that they were discussing, like, what they're going to do. So, yeah. Showcases are resolved. That was so much fun. Milan ended up gaining 3.1 points, and Rome ended up gaining just about 5 points even. They gained a little more and then they lost some, and Florence lost about 1.5 points. So our overall scoreboard is still Rome, Milan, Venice, Florence, but I love it. And we did our animal scale. So the Rome victory was an opossum, and the Milan victory was a gerbil. So, I love my animal scale. And yeah, keep reading, everyone. So, Venice Captain Ruby has approached Florence Captain Danielle to see if Florence will give Venice info about Rome in exchange for something, which I love. I love the, like, silly treaty making and alliance building. It's so much fun to me. And so Florence has figured out from what they lost what Rome's economic score was at the time of the showcase. And now they're deciding whether to give that information to Venice, and if so, what they should ask for in return. I think they're thinking about asking for a peace treaty, where they don't attack each other for a couple days. So, very fun, very fun. I'm excited. So, Danielle is my favorite person in the world, and she created this, I'll put it over here, this proposal for Venice that proposes they will give Venice the information about how many economic points Rome has if Venice agrees to not attack them until Thursday. So basically, they're each of their next showcases, they can't attack each other. And Venice has accepted. So we've got a peace treaty in action until Thursday. So a 2-day peace treaty. And I love this. I love this. It's so fun and makes me so happy that people are really engaging with this game. So I'm having a blast. And I'm going to finish some books now. Hello, I'm back in my little spot. It is showcase time again. We have 2 showcases again today. So Venice reached their 3 points, so Venice has a showcase. And Milan reached 6 points already, so they have a showcase too. Florence is not quite at the 3-point threshold, and Rome is not quite at the 6-point threshold. So it's Venice and Milan today. Milan has already decided to attack Florence in civics, which is gonna hurt. That's an aardvark. So it's like a 23-point difference. So let me get the numbers. Milan is gonna gain over 9 points, and about 9 points, and Florence is gonna lose about 2 points. So yeah, a little rough, but actually another update, Milan is actually in first place right now. Milan passed Rome just by a little bit, but this showcase win, like that prize, is going to put them way ahead of Rome. So that's exciting. The other thing I calculated today that I think is interesting is the scores of each team if they didn't have any ghosts. So the ghosts are the people who haven't submitted any books yet. And probably it's really early. Probably a lot of those ghosts will submit something. But if they don't, then they will end up being deleted at the end. And like obviously everyone's scores go up without the ghosts, but Milan's score went up a lot. So like the difference between Milan and Rome increased without ghosts. So that's interesting. I think Florence has a lot of ghosts too. But they still, even without ghosts, are in last place. But it's a long game. Like there's 2 more weeks left. There's a lot can happen. Milan and Rome can get tired, and Venice and Florence can come in from behind. It totally could happen. So we'll see. My reading updates. I'm still listening to Kindred. I have about an hour left. I have about an hour left. It's just kind of heavy, so I didn't want to listen to it yesterday. I wanted to listen to something else, so I started Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, and that's pretty short, so I should finish that pretty soon. And then I'm also pretty close to the end of Legends and Lattes. So when I finish one of those books, I'll let you know where I submit it to. Probably to Florence, but we'll see what category I deem they need it in, or it would best serve in. So we'll see. Okay, excuse me looking a mess because I haven't showered yet today, but it's showcase time. Firstly, actually, I finished 2 books last night. I finished Legends and Lattes, which I submitted to Florence for the first part of A Science Path, and then I finished Kindred, which I submitted to Florence for the second part of A Science Path. So I gave Florence some good points, and we have 2 showcases today. So the first one is Florence. They did reach their 3-point threshold, and they're trying to go for Rome, which, like, good for them. They are gonna lose, unfortunately. This sucks because it's the same as it was yesterday. The only team they could beat is Venice, and they're in an alliance with Venice, so too bad. But they're going for Roman art, which is one that's like their closest. Art is their highest by far and closest to Rome. So they made a good category choice. Rome also has a showcase, and they're trying to go for Milan in science, which they will win by like just a tiny bit. So that's what both teams are leaning towards right now. They might end up making a different decision, but there's that. We also, I don't know if I told you that both Milan and Rome got their first wonders. Milan got it first, and then Rome got it, and Venice is quite close now. I'm excited for people to get their second wonders, because that's a secret that only I know, and I think that's going to be fun, but I will update you when showcases are resolved. Florence is trying to strike another deal with Venice, like another peace treaty, and honestly, like, it's not a good idea, because in order to gain points in showcases, Florence and Venice need to be going at each other. Like, I'm sorry, I would love the peace and friendship as well, but while you can't beat Rome and Milan, you gotta be getting up there by beating on each other, so that's just my 2 cents that I can't tell anyone else, so I will tell the vlog. Okay, we're on day 7 of the readathon, almost halfway through, and the update for today's showcases. We had 2 showcases. We had a Rome showcase and a Milan showcase. Milan chose to go after Venice, which is a choice. Like, yes, it gets you more points, but then you're not taking down a team that's close to you. And they went in art, which is interesting because they actually could have beat Rome in art. So I personally think they should have gone against Rome in art and knocked them down, but then the points, like the prize points, would have been less because the difference is closer. So I don't know. It was a choice. It happened. That was a donkey victory, which we haven't had yet. It was, let me see how many points. I think they gained like 10 points. Yeah, they gained over 10 points, and Venice lost just over 2 points, 2.5 points. The other showcase was Rome, and they did go against Milan, and they chose civics, and they won by, that's probably the best category they could have chosen, actually. I think it's Milan's lowest, and it was the biggest difference between Rome and Milan. Though they were thinking about economics, they would have won that too, but just by a tiny bit. It would have been a flea victory. So they probably made the right choice there. They gained about 4 points, and Milan lost just over 1 point. Milan is still in the lead overall by quite a bit now, I think. The points are currently Milan 73, Rome 64, Venice 20, and Florence 17. So Florence is actually catching up to Venice. If teams keep going after Venice instead of Florence and leave Florence alone, Florence could totally catch up. The other interesting thing that's happening right now is that the citizens of Rome, led by Martine, have approached Venice with an information sharing alliance. So if Venice accepts, they will share any information they have about Milan. Like basically they're teaming up to take down Milan, and in response, like they won't Venice and Rome won't then directly attack each other in that category. It's not a complete peace treaty where they can't attack each other at all. It's just they share information about Milan, and they don't use that information against the other team, only against Milan. So super interesting. I think Venice will probably accept. Also, the Venice-Florence alliance is over, so when Venice reaches a showcase probably tomorrow, and Florence in maybe a couple days, they're free to attack each other, which, like I said before, I think that Venice and Florence attacking each other is a good option, because they're going to close that gap between the two of them and build each other up. Like, build themselves up while closing that gap. I think if they try to go after Milan and Rome, they're just going to lose, and Rome and Milan are going to just get up higher. So in order to close those gaps, they need to be getting at each other. Super interesting. I am having a blast. So you'll see this after, but I hope everyone else is too. I think they are. Also, Venice and Florence reached their first wonders, so everyone has now reached their first wonder, which is the category advantage, which is exciting. And Milan is at 2,300 wonder points, and at 3,000 they get their second wonder. So I'm really excited for that. It'll probably happen tomorrow, potentially today, but that's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to that because I know what it is and no one else does. So in the points update just now, I gave a lot of things. It was like a lot of information. I revealed some mystery stats. I gave some new mystery stats. One of which, actually, the rabbit is points gained like in the last 24 hours based on without showcase points. So like just points gained from reading books in the last 24 hours, and Florence was winning by like a chunk. So Florence is gaining. And I also gave the distance between the teams in overall standings without like giving the order of which distance is which. So the distances were like 7 points, that's between Milan and Rome, so between first and second, 44 points between second and third, and then 2 points between third and fourth. So Florence is definitely gaining on Venice. And honestly, like, I don't think the game is lost to them. Like, I think that if Florence I think Florence could do it. They just would have to like continuously art showcase Venice and gain points that way, because their art score is really high. Likewise, Venice could like economics showcase Florence and get up that way. So it's anyone's game.
And that is where we shall end this first vlog of Wonderthon. Now, if all goes to plan, today is Monday, the results live show is tonight, and on Thursday, you will get the second installment of this Wonderthon vlog.
Hello, that was all lies. Today is Tuesday, and you will get the second installment of this vlog on Friday.
So you don't have long to wait, but you do have to wait because I didn't want this video to be like hours and hours long, and to just, you know, break it up a little. But the second vlog will be coming to you hopefully on Thursday. So if you were here, comment down below something about how this experience was for you, or if you did not participate, join us next year, and give us a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one coming very soon. Bye.